makers, welcome back to my channel. It's Sierra with Sierra's Crochet Crafts, and today we're going to be making this cozy bandana scarf. You can find the free written pattern on my blog, of course, and you can also purchase the PDF for $3 on my Etsy or my Ravelry shop, or also on my website. So those are the places you can find the written pattern if you'd like to get it and follow along, or you can just watch the video tutorial. So this is the cozy bandana scarf, like I said, and it's basically a triangle scarf, but it's not a full shawl, so it's not as big as other triangle scarves, but we do have some fringe here, and the texture is just simply amazing. And for the materials needed, Hobby sent me some yarn support for this project, Hobby yarn, and I picked the Happy Sheep Wool Power because it's 100% wool and it's very lightweight and it gives this amazing texture. So this is the yarn that I use, and Hobby Yarn was so grateful to send me some yarn support to sponsor this pattern. So here's the information for that, and the link for Hobby Yarn will be down below in the description. And then you're going to need a 5mm H hook, and then I would also recommend using a tape measure, a yarn needle, and some scissors to have handy for this pattern because we're also going to be making some fringe. So let's go ahead and get started into the pattern. To get started, we're going to start with a slip knot. And for our starting point, we are going to chain 5. And we are going to double crochet into the fifth chain from our hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's that first chain we created. We're going to put a double crochet in the 5th chain from our hook. And that's actually going to create our first V-stitch. And that's going to be our starting point. So for row 1, we're going to chain 3 and turn. And your chain 3s are going to count as a double crochet throughout the entire pattern. And we're also going to put 2 double crochets in this very first stitch. So that's creating a 3 double crochet cluster because that chain 3 does count as a double crochet. So in the very first stitch, you're going to put 2 double crochets, and then we're going to put 3 double crochets in this technically chain 1 area. So this big hole, we're going to put 3 double crochets. Alright, and to finish our row, we're going to count. This is 1 chain, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to put a double crochet in the 3rd chain up to finish this row. And that's how it'll look for you. And then for the next row, we are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and turn our work. And this is going to be our V-stitch row. So we're going to create a V-stitch, so the chain 4 is actually going to count as a double crochet in a chain 1. So to finish our V-stitch, we are going to double crochet in this very first stitch here. And as you can see, that creates a V-stitch. We're going to skip 1, and then in the next, we are going to place another V-stitch. So we're going to double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet in that same stitch. And that's a V-stitch. For those of you who are not familiar, a V-stitch, it consists of a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet all in the same stitch. So we're going to skip the next one and create another V-stitch in the next stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch. Alright, we're going to skip that one, and then we're going to put a double crochet in the chain 3 that we started from our last row. So on the top of the chain 3, we're going to put a double crochet to end our row. And that's how it should be looking for you. Those are just our startup rows, and now we're going to go ahead and start on our repeat rows. So we're going to, this scarf is going to be a 2-row repeat. So these are just our startup rows to get us going. So we're going to chain 3. And we're always going to be working that very first stitch because that's how we're going to do our increases. And our increases for each row are going to start making our scarf make that triangle. As you can see, you can already see it starting. So we're always going to want to work in this first stitch on each row. So again, the chain 3 does count as a double crochet, and we're going to put 2 more double crochets in that first stitch to create a 3 double crochet cluster. And then we're going to be working in the chain 1 spaces of our V-stitches to create 3 double crochet clusters. So you're going to put 3 double crochets in each of the chain 1 spaces for the V-stitches. So all these gaps, that's where you're going to put your 3 double crochets. Alright, and when you come to your last one, you are going to put 3 double crochets in that chain 1 space. So this is our last V-stitch. Put 3 double crochets in the opening. And then you're also going to end by putting a double crochet in the top of the chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. Right there at the top, you're going to place a double crochet in that chain to end your row. Right, and you can see the triangle is getting bigger already. That's our first row repeat, and our second will be our V-stitch row. So we're going to chain 4, turn, and again working in that very first stitch, we're going to create a double crochet to complete our V-stitch because the chain 4 counts as a double crochet in a chain 1. Okay, so we made our first V-stitch, and we're going to just skip this stitch, create a V-stitch in the next one. So we're skipping this one, creating a V-stitch here. So that's double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet on the same stitch. And this is where it's going to change from the previous row that we did our V-stitches. Instead of just skipping 1, we're actually going to be skipping 2. So we're going to skip these 2 and work in this one. And a good way to remember that is you're always going to be working in the third, so the middle double crochet from your clusters. So at the beginning we just skipped 1, but for the rest of the row we're going to skip 2 so that we're always working in this middle double crochet. So we're going to skip 2 and put a V-stitch in that next stitch. So that's double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet all in the same space. Again, skipping 2 stitches to work in this middle double crochet from the last round, placing a V-stitch. And we've come to the end of this row, so we're going to skip 2, work in the third, and then we've come to the end of our row, and like always we are going to double crochet in the third chain. So that will remain the same for all rows. Alright, and again you can see the triangle growing already. It's very tiny so far, but it will keep you're going to keep going like this, and it'll keep growing. And you can honestly make this as long as you'd like, or as wide as you'd like, because it's going to start from here and it's going to keep going outward. So you can make this as wide as you'd like. I made mine around 34 inches wide from point to point at the top. But a good rule of thumb is just, you know, keep going and wrap it around your own neck if it's for yourself to see how you like the fit, and you can go based on that. So we're just going to be doing repeats of those last 2 rows that we did. So I'm going to go through those 2 rows with you again on camera, but those are just going to be the 2 repeats that we're going to keep doing until you create the width that you'd like for this scarf. So for the next row, we're going to do a repeat of the 3 double crochet clusters. So we are going to chain 3 and turn, creating 2 double crochets in that first stitch, And this row is pretty simple. You're just going to be doing 3 double crochets in all of the chain 1 spaces of your V-stitches. So all of those big gaps, you're going to just be placing 3 double crochet clusters in each of those chain 1 spaces. Alright, and we got to the end of the row, and I just want to make sure that you're still putting your 3 double crochet cluster in that last chain 1. So still put 3 double crochets in that last one. And then we're also going to end the row by putting a double crochet in the 3rd chain up. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to put a double crochet right here to finish our row. And then we are going to do the 2nd repeat, which is our V-stitch rows, and that's chain 4, turn, 1 double crochet in the 1st stitch. That creates our 1st V-stitch, like so. And then to start, you're skipping just one stitch, because the next stitch is our middle. So we're going to create a V-stitch there. And then for the rest of the row, you're going to be skipping 2 stitches and then working a V-stitch in the next. And you're going to do that all the way until the end of your row. So pretty simple repeats, right? Pretty easy to remember. And again, you guys, you can make this scarf as wide as you'd like it, so you can keep going for as many rows as you'd like. I made mine at 34 inches wide, and then I tied off, and then I added my fringe. But feel free to keep going until it is as wide as you'd like. So we're going to be skipping our 2 stitches, creating our V-stitches until the end of our row here. And again, we're at the end of our row. For this one, we're going to double crochet in the top of this chain 3 to end our row. And there you have it. Those are the 2 repeats that you're going to keep doing. Just keep doing the 3 double crochet clusters and the V-stitches. So repeat those 2 rows until you have the scarf of the size that you'd like, and then we'll start adding fringe. Alright guys, to add the fringe, I take something like this book that has the length that I'd like my fringe to be, and I use that. You can use like a DVD case, a little notebook, anything that you really have lying around that you like the length of. So this right here is going to be the length of my fringe. So you can make it as long or as short as you'd like, and I just wrap it around this book many times to get fringe. So you're gonna wrap it around, and once you have a lot of wraps, a lot more than this is just to show you, you're gonna cut it at just one end. I like, when I use this notebook, I like to use this end because it has a nice little place for my scissors. Just cut it like so, and you will have fringe. So I take 2 pieces of fringe, and to attach it, you fold it in half. You use your hook, and you can go on any place that you'd like. Insert your hook, lay it over your hook, pull through, and then you're going to wrap all of these strands, and you're going to pull through that loop like so to attach the fringe. I started at the bottom of my scarf at this very point, and then I just found a good amount of space, and I attached 2 more, enough gap, and I try to make it at the top of every double crochet cluster row. So that was my spacing. You can do however you'd like. You can do more than 2 clusters. You can do, you know, 3 or 4, you know, however you want your style to be. Like, you can do a whole fringe that looks like this. I just used 2 at a time, and I did about 1 inch of spacing between each fringe add-on. So that's just how I did mine. You can feel free to do yours however you'd like, or just you can add tassel, 1 tassel at the end. Just style it however you'd like, whatever fits your style. But this is the scarf, and that's how it should be looking for you guys. That's the finished product here. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy these bandana scarves. If you're wondering how to put them on, you're just going to take these two ends and you're going to tie it around your neck. You're going to tie it in the back like this, literally just like this, at the back of your neck, and you're going to wear it like an actual bandana. So you're just going to tie it around your neck. It's not going to be your traditional scarf where, you know, you have two of these long edges draping over your shoulders. These are actually just going to be tied behind your neck. Just going to do one of these real quick, and that's it. So I'll attach some pictures at this end of the video so you can see how I wear it. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you make tons of these because they're a super quick project and they'd be great for the market. So thanks for watching, guys.